Speaking of repainting this bathroom, first thing, once I get ready to start painting, of course I start at the ceiling, and I'm going to use the same white that I use for the door frames and the doors, and it's going to be a semi-gloss. And before I get that paint out, I've got to look around and see, okay, because I'm getting ready to sell this condo, and there's a few other things that I got to do with the white paint. And you see this top right here for the wall, coming down the stairs, okay? I saw this mark right here, and I was going to clean it, and it's indentated right into the paint. Of course, somebody put something here. Of course, it leaked. Of course, it ate through the paint. So I'm going to have to lightly sand that, and then when I have, and then I'm going to repaint this whole thing from here to there. So I'll lightly sand this again, get it all ready, and then I'll put a little bit of paint there first. And then as that's drying, see, I can jump into the bathroom, or I can come out here and put a little paint there. And then before I clean up on the second coat, or while I'm between coats, the first and second coat, then I'll come over here and put one coat over this. You see what I mean? And then speaking of the stairs, this thing here, when the people moved out, of course they had to not be careful. There's a ding right there. There's a little hole there. Here's another one here. Here's another one here. I have no idea how they did these. Here's another one right there. Here's a double one. Kikunk. Here's another one. Kikunk. And so because of that, I don't want to just touch that up with the paint with the paintbrush, because I'm going to have to put two little coats on each one of those. And then as you stand here, after it dries, you're going to see the mark, because when I repainted this, I used a little mini roller with a sponge roller cover, and that way I got this all nice and even all the way up. And so what I'll end up having to do, I've got to put some water putty in all these, sand those all down, get that all prepped and stuff. And then when I have the white paint out, then I'll hit a little bit for a first coat, let's say, and then jump back here after 15-20 minutes, put a little bit more. And then in between first and second coats of the paint in the ceiling, I'll come here and finish this. Do you see what I mean? So I'm just going to be kind of jumping around. See this handrail here? I never painted that from before. This was the existing rail, the existing paint color, and it's got some nicks in it, and it's got a couple places where I can feel on my hand that it has to be touched up. And then I saw there was a couple. Here's a nice little ding right there. See that? I don't want to just fill that up with caulking and call it good and then try to paint over. It's never going to come out right. Here's a little bit, and then on the back side there's a place right in here. And so and then plus I'm going to take these brackets out, and I got some colored ones to match everything else that she's got in here. Okay, and so I'm going to take this out into the garage, and then I've got to sand this. I've got to lightly sand this a little bit, and then I've got some water putty here, and that water putty, oh man, it works really good. Rock hard water putty. You put on there, you can sand it down, and it paints up. You can't even see that stuff when you get done, and it's cheap. And so I'll prep this and have this ready to be painted down there, because once I get into the white paint, I don't want to have to get into it again, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Once I have the paint out, I just want to go for it. You see, so I've got to plan myself strategically today. And speaking of that water putty, here it is, right here. Durham's Rock Hard Water Putty. Okay, this stuff works good for all kinds of stuff. It's very cheap. Was probably only $3, and they have a bigger container. This is a small container, and I'm gonna use that stuff. So I've got a few things to prep first. Now I'm gonna just take this out into the garage and then lay down some craft craft paper, and I'll show you all that stuff later. But see, I've got a nice little long place right here, right in here, to run my craft paper, to then put my handrail there and get it all ready. And here's my craft paper. This is the craft paper that I'm going to end up using, okay, for in the bathroom and stuff. That stuff works good. It's about $15 a roll. I forget how many feet in it. You can get it at the Home Depot, at Lowe's, and wherever. Okay, I always use this stuff for painter's drops and stuff, and I'll cut it and put it in the bathtub and put it over the countertop and all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna be the prepping fool for the next I don't know, 2.5, 3 hours before I even start opening up the paint. Okay, think about your job and see what you're going to do before you start. And then I'm gonna look at all the baseboard when I have the white paint out, and if I have to come back and get the paint out again, I will. But you see that little mark down there, right there? Here's a little spot right there. You know, just little things. Here's a spot right there. See, here's a spot right here, and here's another little ding. I see. It's just different stuff like that that's going to make a difference when you get ready to sell. See, I have no idea. How could somebody scratch this from here to there? I have no idea, but somebody did. Right there, here, as they were bringing something up to the bedroom when they moved in. And so I'll just take my time and go around, take a meander down the hallways and stuff, and see where I need to do any little minor touch-up. And I did notice on this door too, right here where the door jamb is. Usually wherever the door jambs are, you're going to find places that you're going to have to touch up. Okay, because they didn't really put a car in here. The garage is real small. You can fit it in there, but they put some moving boxes in there. And see, here's a mark right there on the door. Here's another little mark right here. And so I'll just, here's another up here. I'll just kind of take a perusal when I have that white paint out. And if I miss something before I get done with everything, then I'll here's another spot down there. I remember that one. Okay. And I'll just have to get the paint out again. But I'm just pointing out certain things. When you have certain paint colors out, you got the white out, then do all your other paint touch up and do all your other little projects at the same time, if you can. You know, if you got to come back later and get the paint out just for your handrail, whatever. But even if I had the right brackets here, would I just paint the top of here? No, don't do that. You're going to get it all over the place. It's not going to be nice and even. And I also want to get the bottom all the way. Okay, it's so much easier just to take it off and do it, and then let it dry, and then put it back on. Okay. And see, the reason, see, everything in here used to be the gold, the bright brass finish before we changed it to the nickel finish. We changed everything in here to nickel finish. So Momi, she wanted me to change these to nickel finish too. Okay, fine. You know, I didn't have a problem with that. We even when we changed these ceiling fans, she wanted nickel finish. The light fixtures, nickel finish. And I was going to try to get nickel finish for the little eyeball, single eyeball lights, but they didn't have it. And so I thought, okay, let's just use white here, because, I mean, I could have used black, but there's not much black in here. There is black here, here, but over here, everything's white. See, the window frames are white, the door frames, the baseboards, the light switches, the plates on the wall, the countertops, the trim. You know, everything in here has a white feel to it, the doors and frames. And so I thought, hey, I'll just put white there. So keep all that kind of stuff in mind when you get ready to paint. A couple minutes later, see, I wasn't kidding. I took the door off. I even took the hinges off because I'm going to end up painting the casing trim just on the inside, because when I painted these, initially I painted everything over to the back side, knowing that once I did the bathroom, I'd go from there on over. Okay, so I got everything other than the light fixture, and I just set everything over here. I know exactly how these go back in. Here's my trim pieces. I'll put the light fixture over here, the cover plates, got all that stuff, okay? So take your time and do things